So Little Witch Academia ended, and when I say that, I feel a tinge of sadness. Ever since I saw the first OVA, I fell in love with the world. Sure, it's not incredibly unique, like groundbreaking, and you could draw a lot of parallels to other animes and even Harry Potter. But they don't try to dazzle you with very complicated world mechanics. It's a simple premise, but that's not always a bad thing. It was how they executed it and how much fun they had while doing it that made it really special to me. And so naturally, when I saw Akko's cameo in Space Patrol Luluko, I was so stoked. The biggest question on my mind was, how will it compare to the OVA? Will it be able to capture the magic and wonder I felt? Well, for starters, Akko's dream is still the same. She wants to become a witch like Shining Chariot and make people smile and appreciate magic. That gets her stigmatized though by other students in the wizarding world. Wait, wizarding? What is this, Harry Potter? No, in the magical world, because other witches feel like she's a clown. She's like cheapening the art of magic. A parallel I can draw is like Chris Angel. You know, a lot of true magicians feel like he's basically like the McDonald's, the fast food of street magic. But that doesn't really stop Akko. She's really persistent, unyielding, and doesn't really lose her way when it comes to chasing her dream. What about character development? Well, in the OVAs, we didn't really know them too well. Compared to the TV series, they were pretty two-dimensional. Diana felt like a typical snob, and her friends, groupies, I really had no sympathy for them either. They really felt like characters to me. But in the series, Diana got a lot of development and even became likable. We got to see her own personal issues and struggles, and that really humanizes her. And she also goes through a lot of great bonding moments with Akko, whether she wants to or not. So for character development, obviously, the TV series wins. There's just more screen time for each of the characters. Instead of being plopped into a world where Akko, Susie, and Lotte already know each other, instead, in the first episode, we get to see how they all meet. Akko makes friends with them on the way to Luna Nova, and even though Susie and Akko just met, she's already playing pranks on her. And the three of them crash in the ley line and they get sent to Arcturus Forest and end up getting into trouble there. That's what basically the first few episodes are all about. We see Akko constantly try and fail, but her unbending willpower to become a great witch like Shining Chariot keeps her going. She's always constantly getting herself into shenanigans and trouble, and usually, most likely, Lotte and Susie get caught up in all of it. One common complaint I hear is that Akko's taking too long to improve her skills, and that there's no bad guy or any goals until like later episodes. But honestly, I don't really see that as a bad thing, because if Akko suddenly became OP within the first few episodes, that would just kind of make it unrealistic, because magic takes a long time to learn. It also wouldn't feel rewarding if she suddenly became super powerful, because it's the last few episodes that has that big payoff in the end. To me, the pacing of her abilities felt just right, and at the halfway mark, she puts on a really clumsy and clunky magic show, but somehow she still manages to impress and dazzle the alumni from Luna Nova, just from like the energy and effort she put into it. It just had its own charm, even though it looked, her transformations weren't the best. This is one of the highest points in Akko's magical career, only topped by the last episode. But after Crow shows up, it gets interesting. It becomes less about world building and character development. I mean, there's still character development, but there's less random scenarios. It's much more focused, and the story becomes a little bit darker. This is when things start getting interesting, so I'm not gonna spoil it. But let's talk about the animation and the people behind it for a second. When I talked about how Trigger had fun making this anime, you can feel it. In fact, in all of the animes I've seen from them, like Kill la Kill, Luluko, and bits from Inferno Cop, you can get a sense of their passion behind every frame. Trigger's art style is really unique, and there's a lot of energy and playfulness to their animation. The facial expressions and their poses are really exaggerated, and that's because they use a lot of squash and stretch. The end result is just a really bombastic and unique animation with a lot of character to it. Now, it's not really a Trigger anime, unless they got Gainax references, and there's a lot of them. I mean, like Evangelion, check. Gurren Lagann, heck yeah. And there's probably way more references that I'm missing. They even got like Chum-Li from Pawn Stars. The music's nice. I personally really enjoy it, especially the Chariot theme, because that's probably the most memorable tune. Everything else is pretty atmospheric. So there's really not much to talk about. It just works. It goes well with the themes of the anime, and it doesn't feel out of place. I guess in conclusion, I really enjoyed this anime. I would actually say it's one of my top animes this year, hands down. It's really simple and straightforward, with like spells and creatures referencing old folklore and mythology, which is a nice touch. Little Witch Academia knows how to have fun, yet be serious at the same time. It's a really magical experience, and it was something I look forward to watching every week. Even in the beginning, when it didn't really have a story yet, it was just mostly character development and world building, I really enjoyed every second of it. There's honestly never a dull moment. So, should you watch Little Witch Academia? Heck yeah!